The land explored by our ancestors extends from Altai to the White Sea. The scientific expedition, Trails of Nomads, continues to unveil the path of our forefathers. A group of scientists led by pilgrim of the 21st century Sapari Skakov has already visited more than 40 countries. Scientists reveal the exciting secrets of the past. Watch an amazing story of a great journey in the Trails of Nomads program. Today's Trails of Nomads episode presents: when and how did our ancestors find the first major Islamic state in India? What is the purpose of the Qutb Minar tower, which is considered the heart of Eurasia? What Kipchak sultan in the 13th century called the currency of the Delhi Sultanate tenge? It takes 4.5 hours by plane or more than a month on a horseback from Astana to Delhi. There are a few mountainous barriers between the two capitals. However, despite this, our ancestors, even in ancient times, easily overcame all barriers and distances. Archaeological monuments pointing on this fact were found by scientists of the Trails of Nomads expedition.
Қазір келіп тұрғанымыз мынау Qutb Minar үлкен комплексі, мұның ішінде мешіттер де бар.
We are in the Qutb Minar complex consisting of mosques, mausoleums and other objects. All this is built by our ancestors. In the 13th century, they arrived on this land as slaves and rose to the level of sultans. The Kipchak Sultanate was founded in 1206 and existed until 1290. Of course, not everyone knows about it. Therefore, our goal is to bring the great legacy of our ancestors to the younger generation and to cultivate patriotism in them.
Осы біздің бабаларымыздың тарихын айта келіп, соларға түсіндіру, ұғындыру, рухани жаңғыру жасау, олардың патриоттық сезімдерін көтеру.
India is a country with a special culture and a unique civilization. However, there was no state with a centralized system of governance here until the 13th century. There were only small scattered principalities. Thanks to our ancestors, they were united and one of the largest states in the world was created here, the Indians themselves admit. The professor at the Delhi University, Amita Paliwal, told this in a conversation with the head of the scientific expedition.
Kipchak dynasty is concerned in India, it dates back to the invasion of Muhammad Ghori when he came here in 1191 and 1192. 1192 he defeated the then governing ruler of Delhi, Prithviraj Chauhan, and established his rule in India. Right? After he established his rule in India, after defeating Prithviraj Chauhan, he went back to Ghazni. But then he left Qutbuddin Aibak as a governor of Lahore, and he took care of Delhi.
The Baghdad Bazaar served as a link between the central part of Asia and the south. Also, they traded slaves, that is, warriors taken during the campaigns. In the same way, Kipchak Qutb al-Din Aibak was brought to the army of Shihab-ud-Din Muhammad, who at the time ruled the state, which included the territories of North India, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. Qutb al-Din Aibak in battles appeared to be a brave warrior. He rose to the level of a commander and was appointed governor of the city of Lahore. Afterwards, he ruled the whole of northern India in 1206. After the death of Muhammad Ghori, the rule completely passed to Qutb al-Din Aibak. Thus, he formed the world's largest state, the Delhi Sultanate.
Qutbuddin Aibak as a governor of Lahore, and he took care of Delhi. And then there were two more slaves there was Tajuddin Yaldoj and Nasiruddin Muhammad Qabacha. Yaldoj was in Afghanistan and Qabacha was in Multan and Sindh, while Aibak was in Delhi. Aibak ruled from 1206 to 1210, and Aibak started a very different era in Indian history.
More than 8 centuries ago, Delhi first gained the status of the capital and was recognized on the world stage as the main city of the largest state. Since then, it has become a large metropolis with a population of 20 million, and now it is the capital of modern India. And once, it all began with a small area of Mehrauli in the city of Delhi. Our ancestors moved here and lived in ancient time. The magnificent buildings built by their hands have been preserved to our days. We are now in a complex built in the 13th century by the first ruler of the Delhi Sultanate, Qutb al-Din Aibak. The Kipchaks, who came from the Great Steppe, were engaged in construction. During the reign of the Kipchak sultans, beginning with Qutb al-Din Aibak, the architectural art of India received special development. Scientists, architects, builders, people of art then enjoyed great respect here. Amazingly beautiful buildings of marble with various patterns and inscriptions from the Quran were built in India. All these monuments are now invaluable. Pay attention to this gate. They look to the west because the most important shrine of all Muslims is Mecca. With the advent of Qutb al-Din Aibak, an Islamic civilization developed in India. The Turkic culture flourished here. Qutb al-Din Aibak built more than 27 different places of worship right in the center of the Turk district. Mehrauli, a large tower, was erected on a large square. This unique structure, built of marble, was named Qutb Minar. Later it was included in the Guinness Book of Records. Construction of Qutb Minar is full of secrets. The tower with a height of 75 meters has no foundation. It was built right on the ground. This speaks of the skill of architects and builders of the time. Even during the earthquake, the structure was not damaged. Only the upper dome fell down. The upper dome of Qutb Minar fell as a result of the earthquake. That dome is behind me. Without this dome, the height of the minaret is 72.5 meters. With the dome, the height reached 75 meters. The Qutb Minar is one of the most beautiful architectural structures. Now it is an important tourist site, which brings considerable profit to the treasury of India. At one time, the tower inspired the masters to develop architecture. For example, looking at this building, a new minaret was built, Ala-e-Minar. It was erected by the order of the representative of Khalji Ala ad-Din Khalji, who ruled the Delhi Sultanate after the Kipchak sultans. To our left is Ala-e-Minar facility, and to the right is the minaret Qutb Minar, a representative of the Khalji Ala ad-Din Khalji dynasty who ruled the Delhi Sultanate after the Kipchak sultans. Upon seeing the Qutb Minar minaret, decided to build the same minaret, but only a few times higher. Thus, the building was planned to be 150 meters high. However, he suddenly died, and the construction was suspended. Now, only one part of the minaret is preserved. Another historical place is the Imam Zamin Mausoleum, built from 1537 to 1538. Imam's real name was Muhammad Ali. He was born in Turkestan. He arrived in India during the reign of the Lodi dynasty. Note, the connection between the Great Steppe and the Delhi Sultanate was not interrupted even during the dynasties that ruled the state after the Kipchak sultans. This is evidenced by the architecture of the time.
Мұнда менің байқап тұрғаным 4 нез бар екен, деңгей. Ең жоғарғы деңгейде.
As I noticed, there are 4 levels here. The highest is Koshkar Muiz. This is a picture of the Great Steppe, that is, the territory from Altai to the Danube, or Deshti Kipchak. Then we see the fragments after the adoption of Islam. Here there is an inscription of the name of the Most High, Allah. Then a sign symbolizing the 4 sides of the world. This is a lotus pattern. The burial place of this person is India, and in the middle there are excerpts from the Quran.
Төменгі жағында лотосты көрсеткен, бұл кісінің келіп қайтқан жері. Лотос бұл Индия уже. И ортасында Құраннан сөздер жазылған.
Another all-quality building built by Qutb Aibak is the Quwat ul-Islam Mosque. In translation, the name of the mosque means the power of Islam. This is the first mosque in the history of Delhi. Materials from 27 destroyed temples were used in its construction. Before the construction of the mosque, there were 27 temples of such religions as Hinduism and Jainism. They were destroyed. Instead, a large mosque appeared. Behind the mosque, there is a large iron pillar. The chronology of historical events in one of the most ancient languages, Brahmi, was recorded here. This was also one of the holy places in India. Qutb Minar, the minaret of the mosque from where Muslims were convened for prayer. In addition, the building served as a watchtower. All of these facilities were built by order of Qutb al-Din Aibak, but were not completed during his rule. Their erections were continued during the reigns of the other Kipchak sultans. In 1210, in the city of Lahore, Qutb al-Din Aibak fell from his horse and died while participating in the national game Shogun, which was then popular among the Kazakhs. Speaking in the current language, this is polo. The ruler's mausoleum is located in the city of Lahore near the Anarkali Bazaar. He ruled the Delhi Sultanate for 4 years. After Qutb al-Din Aibak in 1211, the government passed to Shams-ud-Din Iltutmish. The tomb of Shams-ud-Din Iltutmish is located in the western side of the Quwat ul-Islam Mosque, which was built by him in 1235. By this act, he promoted Islam among the population. Then the indigenous people, the Indians, cremated the departed, that is, the body was burned after death. This is the first Muslim cemetery in India.
Қазақтың кең даласынан келіп, 13 ғасырда
We pray for our illustrious ancestor Iltutmish, who came from our vast steppes to India in the 13th century and was the 3rd sultan here. Every Kazakh should know his history, know his ancestors. If there are descendants looking for their ancestors, they will live forever, and the future of this people is great. Iltutmish Sultan continued the construction of the famous Qutb Minaret and the Quwat ul-Islam Mosque. Some historical sources indicated that he controlled the construction of the minaret. In addition, he built many other magnificent buildings. All of them are now the architectural pride of India. We see very beautiful gates decorated with patterns. They appeared during the reign of Iltutmish. Iltutmish is the ruler of the Kipchak Sultanate. He is the son-in-law of Qutb al-Din Aibak. Then, for the first time, the son-in-law of the ruler ascended the throne. Iltutmish was also captured by enemies, and then was sold in the slave market. Qutb al-Din Aibak bought him. Before Iltutmish, the son of Qutb al-Din Aibak, Aram Shah, ruled the Delhi Sultanate. However, there is a lot of conflicting information about the latter. Some sources indicate, for example, that he is not the son of a ruler at all. Aibak had only 3 daughters. One of them, named Qutb Begum, was married to his devoted commander Iltutmish, who later began to rule the state. During his reign, the Delhi Sultan began to develop and flourish. A military reform was carried out and an efficient army appeared. Thanks to such steps, he managed to subdue the whole of northern India. Iltutmish Sultan acted very far-sightedly. Throughout his entire territory, he formed a climate of unity and cohesion, trying not to infringe on the interests of others. In short, his country was developing along a democratic path.
Now, Shamsuddin Iltutmish was the best ruler of before Alauddin Khilji. He was the best ruler of North India, of Delhi. Why he is best? Because Iltutmish, he belonged to the Ilbari tribe. So it's the continuation of the Kipchak dynasty in India. So he was a very handsome and very skillful person.
In the southeast of the region of Mehrauli, that is 3 kilometers from Qutb Minar, there is a Hauz-e-Shamsi reservoir. Iltutmish Sultan built the strategic object. It was a real revolutionary event for the time when everyone drank water only from wells. Thanks to this step, the Delhi Sultanate solved the problem of clean water. The Hauz-e-Shamsi reservoir is considered a holy place for all Muslims in India. There is a legend about it.
Besides this, in order to overcome the water problem, he dug a tank which is known as Shamsi tank. It was a very pious tank because they say that Prophet Muhammad came in the dreams of Sultan Iltutmish, and he was riding on a horse, and where his horse put a hoof, there Sultan Iltutmish dug a tank. So this Hauz-e-Shamsi in Mehrauli used to be a very pious tank, and it also used to supply water to the entire Mehrauli area.
Iltutmish is one of the founders of the financial system in India. He began to make silver coins, which were called tenge. Iltutmish was especially respected among the residents of the Delhi Sultanate. And it is natural. The ruler focused on solving the problems of the state inhabitants. He constantly met with the population. People in search of justice with their complaints and suggestions, wearing red clothes, came to the palace of the ruler. Iltutmish headed the state from 1211 to 1236.
So, Ruknuddin Firoz Sultan Iltutmish did not like. Razia he was very fond of, because when he was going outside Delhi for the campaign, he was leaving Delhi under the charge of Razia, not Ruknuddin Firoz. He chose his daughter over his son to become his successor, which is in 13th century, it's a revolutionary thought coming from a Muslim ruler. So that was again very great.
Kipchak girl Razia Sultana ascended the throne at the age of 31. She governed for approximately 4 years and left a big mark in the history of India. Locals still tell legends about her. Feature films and TV series describe her courage and heroism. As the Kazakhs worship Tomiris, India people honor Razia Sultana. However, many still do not know where this outstanding woman was buried. The scientists of the Trails of Nomads expedition found the burial place of the famous compatriot Razia Sultana with the help of their Delhi colleagues. We will tell you all about it in our next episode.